Hi, I'm Alex McCord and welcome to The Real Deal on TheStir.com. Today we have The Real Housewives of New York City, Season 6, Episode 18, finally back from Montana, just in time to hear Countess LuAnn refuse to sing. Or did she? We've also got Real Housewives of Atlanta husband Apollo Nida, and a quick dip into Celebrity Wife Swap, Season 3, Episode 10 with Barry Williams and Joe Piscopo, except they don't swap wives, they swap assistants, which could be even more dangerous. First, New York. The Big Apple ladies are back from Montana, and somebody has to tell Aviva Drescher what she missed and reintegrate her to the group. This falls to Sonia, who at least manages to deliver her smackdown with a side order of feng shui when she's not busy interviewing interns, picnicking in the park, or planning steamy bathroom encounters with none other than Aviva Drescher's ex-husband, Harry Dubin. A beautiful table in the backyard with iced tea sets the scene, and Sonia hits Aviva with the bad news. They talked about you the whole time, they think you're lying about the asthma, they think you just can't leave your husband Reed. Aviva pulled out her asthma inhaler and her meds and smacked her prosthetic leg for emphasis, but that's it. She didn't turn purple and start screaming or throwing things. Why? Because Sonia didn't challenge her. She didn't make Aviva wrong about it. She made the whole scenario a joke. This was smart because, treated softly, Aviva did not go off. Diplomat Sonia made it funny and Aviva laughed. Sonia is clearly the Aviva whisperer. And it's about time Aviva had a good laugh, but it is the only time we see her all episode because the rest of it is about warring spouses and singing. Or not. There's an open mic night at Birdland Jazz Club, and Mario, Heather, and LuAnn have all been invited to sing, except that's not how it happens. Okay, for this story arc, I'm going to start at the end and work backward. LuAnn won't sing, and Ramona's convinced it's because she doesn't have backup singers or auto-tune. LuAnn denied it all. First, she said she wanted Mario to have his own moment, and then when Ramona didn't buy that, LuAnn changed her auto-tune and said, oh, she was never meant to sing at all. Back and forth. Ramona said, that's a lie. You've been practicing. I'll bet Heather's better than you. And LuAnn tells Ramona, shut your face, you cow. And then claims Ramona is bullying her. No. As the Housewives bullying police, I say no to that one. Ramona was baiting LuAnn, but not bullying her. But let's continue working backward. Mario sings an original song written by Ramona's gay husband, Shane. Hear that? Original song, meaning Shane wrote it and owns it and signed a release which gave the producers and Bravo permission to show it, play it, copy it throughout the universe in perpetuity in every country in which The Housewives is aired for free. Shane's getting his publicity by having his name and his face and his song on TV. Now, Heather blew the ladies away with her belted out rendition of Bill Bailey, and how did she get away with that? Simple. She picked an old song. The song Bill Bailey is in the public domain because it was written in 1902 and the copyright has expired. You could sing it naked on the Today Show for free. Well, minus the FCC fines for the nudity, but you get the idea. Anything written before 1923 this year is fair game, no paperwork. And this is why you never see Housewives or any other reality show participants singing karaoke, because it is a nightmare and expensive to clear the rights for every single song in every single country that this show is sold into. So, back to LuAnn. I heard from people who were actually at Birdland that night that the Countess actually did sing and the producers screwed her over. So why did that happen? LuAnn, bless her cotton socks, sang Big Spender from the musical Sweet Charity, written in 1965, still very much in copyright, very much in demand, and very expensive because it's a song that everybody knows and loves. Now, what I want to know is whether LuAnn chose that song herself, in which case she was being either a thug in a cocktail dress or a dumb drag queen, take your pick, or did the producers sign off on her singing Big Spender in order to stitch her up? Because before they even agreed to film this scene, believe me, the producers would know what everybody wanted to sing. So did they agree to it and plan to stitch her up in the edit by betting she did not know about the copyright rule, and then they can say a month later, oh, we can't show it, we didn't realize we can't clear it, silly us. Which do you think is true? I'm thinking those producers were ready to rumble, given that Mario's scene was intercut with a montage of soft focus images of him in his underwear with Ramona, which is a little bit mean considering their current marital problems. And Heather's song featured B-roll of all the men stuffing their faces. I think that the producers and editors put on their ha-ha hats that day. Oh, and speaking of copyright issues, somewhere in Bravoland's vault, there's footage of me with Bethany. Slightly tipsy, but I'm sure perfectly in tune, singing "The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow" from Annie. The things you miss because you can't clear them. Last thoughts on New York, because it occupied a lot of time this week and next week in the previews. We have to talk about Kristen and Josh. Let's start with what we know already. Kristen is whiny, and Josh is an insufferable jerk who doesn't seem to understand that being right is not enough. He also has to be nice about it. Now, how do we know all this? Because it's the only thing we've been allowed to see all season. Watching this season, it is fair to wonder whether Josh has ever shown 1 ounce of kindness or respect to his wife. Logically, the answer must be yes, because they've been together 10 years and Kristen hasn't left. But we're not seeing it. The footage we've seen of them is completely one note. Both Kristen and Josh are being edited into an unlikable box, which is not a fun place to be in. See, I had wondered why watching Shannon and David fight on Orange County was not as painful as Kristen and Josh. But see, Shannon and David are also shown having fun, letting their hair down, giggling and laughing, just not with each other. If Kristen or Josh have ever laughed once this season, I don't remember it. And no, that Elvis impersonator does not count. Moving on. Last night we also had Celebrity Wife Swap on ABC, but where are the wives? In a switch-up, we have 2 single dads, Barry Williams, a.k.a. Greg Brady from the Brady Bunch, and Joe Piscopo, not only from Saturday Night Live, but also from a movie called Johnny Dangerously, which you should get on Netflix right now. In this episode, the actual child-rearing took a backseat to the drama. Barry Williams needs to treat his 11-year-old son more like a kid and less like an adult, which is hard because Barry, as a child star, never got to be a kid. Solution: Boy Scouts, magic tricks, and go-karts. Joe Piscopo also has an 11-year-old son and a 9-year-old daughter who need to put down the electronics, do their chores, and eat dinner together as a family. Now, the interesting part of last night's episode was the assistants and what defines a celebrity assistant. Barry's assistant, Mama Maria Haygood, has 8 kids of her own, the 9th being Barry, and she is his stage manager for his musical show in Branson. Jessica, Joe Piscopo's 40 years younger, what is she? Ex-girlfriend? Want to be current girlfriend? Something like that? She really just seems to want a ring on it without having any assistant duties. She kind of reminds me of one of Sonia Morgan's interns. Jessica is the fish out of water, the one who's not like the others, the one everyone is looking at. So from an editing standpoint, that means she has to be either the hero or the villain. And she starts out as the villain, complaining about Barry and messing up his stage show. But in a bait and switch turnaround, Jessica turns into the hero by being able to relate to Barry's son and help him be a kid. Mama Maria pushes Joe to start a dating profile, pointing out that he's in his 60s, Jessica is in her 20s, which leads up to Joe breaking up with or firing or somehow separating from her on camera in the end of the week debrief. Then she punches him in the face, and 6 weeks later they're back together. Hey, that's good TV. Finally, in real-life, non-televised news, Real Housewives of Atlanta star Phaedra Parks has in fact lost her husband. Apollo Nida, who pled guilty earlier this year to charges of financial fraud, has been sentenced to 8 years in prison. I covered this on HLN Live yesterday, and here is what we know. Phaedra was not in court with her husband. Apollo will surrender at a later date once his facility has been assigned, and it's likely that he'll get some time off for completing rehab while incarcerated. And Phaedra has reportedly already been asked back for season 7 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So if I were the Atlanta production company, I would get a crew together right now, get over to their house, and film Phaedra and Apollo non-stop until he surrenders to serve his sentence. Phaedra is well placed for a great storyline next season, and unlike Teresa Giudice, she does not have to keep quiet. She doesn't need to lie low or hide from the press or the cameras because she wasn't involved, at least as far as the legalities go. Phaedra can play this any way she wants. She can stay with Apollo and be the grieving widow. She can leave him and be the single mother. The ball is in her court. So what do you think she should do? Let me know what you thought in the comments. For now, I am Alex McCord. You are watching The Real Deal on thestir.com. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you tomorrow.